Welcome back to Prague and the PokerStars.net European Poker Tour. 10 players remain in this tournament as we play down to the final 8. So 2 tables of 5, 1 more elimination, and we have a table of 9. And then when we lose another player, we'll be down to our final 8, and they will return tomorrow to play down to a champion. It's James Hartigan and Matt Broughton. Liv Barry from Team PokerStars Pro will join us very shortly, so questions for Liv should be submitted on Twitter using the hashtag EPTLive or on the emails nuts@pokerstars.tv. And Matt, we saw a big hand just before the break, which saw Ale Plowski give a ton of chips to the Greek player Sotiris Koutopoulos, and they're now very close.
Yeah, well, Koutopoulos just seems to always get these massive hands pay off, or he just hits it at the end, or on the turn. But you know what I'm saying? It's like he's either making these big hands, but he's not just making big hands, he's getting paid off. And we were thinking, what's going on here? Because he checked it through, and then he got the bet out of Plowski, who then sort of wished he'd never done it in the first place. But we don't even know what Plowski had, but it was clearly strong enough to get too carried away with, but huge in chips now for Koutopoulos.
And as we come back from the break with the blinds at 20-40, Johan Manutinen is the short stack with just 17 big blinds.
Yeah, and you got to feel for him because he was trying every single move, wasn't he? Literally every single hand he tried to find a way to get himself back into this before the levels went up. But no, I mean he's limited now, which is a shame because he's been sterling and he's been patient, but he just kept getting battered by the cards.
That's what they'll be playing for tomorrow. If you're looking for stories, by the way, I mean, Ramzi Jalassi seems to have been on the EPT since its inception. He's looking for his first ever win. He's looking to make it to the final table tomorrow. And we've got a player in David Boyasian, the Dutch player who came second in this tournament last year, looking to go one better this year. And for all you Brits watching at home, we've still got Ben Warrington on the outer table. The Poles are getting very excited about Mariusz Klosinski, the Polish player who's still in the tournament, who's celebrating his 40th birthday today, by the way.
That's tremendous. And what better way than sitting in a room full of men, not talking. That's how I want to celebrate my 40th when it happens.
Hello to Nicholas on Twitter, who says, no matter who goes out next, this is going to be a great final table to watch tomorrow. One of the better ones this year for sure. To be fair, we have been gifted with some really good EPT final tables over the last 12 months.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we've been through 3 final feature tables today, and there have been players playing out their socks for most of the day on and off. We've been a bit lucky, you know, just things like flopping the quad deuces and stuff like that. I mean, obviously the cards help, but there's been some smashing plays. So, yeah, whoever does get through, I think you're absolutely right.
I have to say that is definitely hand of the day. And just to remind you, and if you missed it earlier on, kings in the small blind, ace deuce in the big blind. Somehow all the money gets in. The flop, deuce, deuce, deuce.
Ace on the river as well, don't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to rub it in that says, even if I hadn't flopped the quads, still would have beaten you on the river.
The needle.
Ish.
So they've raced off the red chips, just the blue 5,000s and the yellow 25,000s in play now. Ramzi Jalassi under the gun. Looks like a raise to 80,000. And, oh, a fold out of turn from Koutopoulos. Action to action on Boyasian on the button. Now you can fold. And Plowski in the big blind folds as well. Raise and take it for Ramzi Jalassi.
Yeah, he was not shy of taking any opportunity to try and take down blinds and antes in the previous level. Jalassi in seat 1 there.
Here's tweet of the day, Matt, from Boyagi. He says, I've got an exam tomorrow. Screw it! Can't take my eyes off the EPT.
Good. Glad that we've managed to ruin not only today but the rest of your life.
That was our objective when we started.
That was it. We mentioned Damago quite specifically as someone that we wanted to try and ruin. Poker's not just for Christmas, yeah, it's for life.
Those of you asking for updates on the stacks, we put up the full chip count from time to time. I can tell you that David Boyasian starts this hand with just shy of 3.5 million. And he will raise to 80,000. Plowski has folded the small blind. Ramzi Jalassi will defend his big blind. King, queen, deuce flop with 2 hearts.
I'm going to suggest a pretty big V-pip for Gillespie in general over the last couple of hours. He is happy to make action and happy to call it. Take everyone all the way down the streets. Now it's slowing down. Boyasian seems pretty happy as well with this.
So check on the flop. Check on the turn. And the heart comes in on the river. The 10 of hearts as well. Who's got what? Ace-9 for Boyasian.
7 plays, right? 7 plays? Yeah. Yeah? No.
Huh?
7 plays, right?
No.
No? 90. Yeah. The 9 plays.
Ramsey Gillespie had a weak ace.
Yeah,
I was trying to say that the 7 plays instead of the 9. I'm not sure what game he's playing.
No. Unless they've made some arrangement about this round, you're going to flip some of the cards around a bit.
Yes.
Desperately trying to get himself a split there. Oh, hello.
Gillespie's VPIP 40%, Matt. You ask and you receive.
I didn't even know we had this. This is the first time I've seen this. That's very exciting. I was just saying it casually, thinking I could never be proved right or wrong because we don't have a visual for it. Boom. Yeah, not massively surprised to see that, though.
Tweet from Alex. He says, Daniel Negreanu is so right. We need a clock rule. Players are taking hours to call.
High-roller players.
Not that bad.
Recommence in just over 2 minutes.
It's not online. You can't just go click, 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 you know. You got to lift your cards up. You got to slightly bend down to see what they are. Big physical toll, this live poker business. I did want to pass Newton out during the break, mooching around eating chocolate, trying to cheer himself up. He didn't look happy. He didn't look like life was good.
What was his confectionery of choice, Matt?
I can tell you now it was a Kit Kat.
He was literally having a break.
Yeah, he was. For legal reasons, I should point out other chocolate confectionery is available, such as Topics or Marathons.
Do they actually still make Topic?
I have no idea.
I know that Marathon is now called a Snickers, so you are
God.
being a little bit old school there.
I'm a bit old school. I don't really eat chocolate. Actually, I eat a huge amount of chocolate. I've got a giant Toblerone in my room that cost me £5.40. Just bought it anyway. Just didn't care.
Baller.
That's how I roll, yeah? I got the miniature vodka, a huge Toblerone. Other triangular chocolate probably is available. Can't think of any right now.
Katoupas is raised under the gun. Folded around to the big blind. And Boyasian gives it up. So let's introduce our guest in the booth. From Team PokerStars Pro, we're thrilled to be joined by former EPT champion Liv Bourrie.
How are you boys doing?
Super.
How is Prague treating you, Liv?
Having a wonderful time. I love the city very, very much. We've been played a bit, but poker's not gone so well. But been partying and having fun nonetheless.
I saw you wearing a very lovely coat when you came in, so I take you've actually been exploring the outdoors as well.
Yeah, it's so cold out there. I dug out my old Afghan monstrosity thing, and I've been wearing a hat all the time, even indoors.
How many gloves at a time?
I lost my other glove, so I've just been wearing one. I have one
Ooh.
permanently cold hand.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought you meant, because I go for the double glove and the double socks, because that's how cold it is.
Weirdly, yeah, yes. No, I've just been one cold hand.
Anybody here that you had any experience of? I know the odds are against it, but I thought I'd ask.
Oh, it's still in? No, I've never played against any of these guys, although I do know Ramsey. Actually shared a taxi with him on the way over here last week. Really, really nice guy and fantastic player.
As we said, someone who seems to have been on the EPT for years, but has always been denied that big score.
Yeah, hopefully this will be his time. He's definitely very deserving.
Obviously, at the start of the day, Liv, the story point was Roberto Romanello.
Yes, of course.
Sad-
Hoping to be the first two-time.
Absolutely, and not just the two-time, but to do it in the same venue as well. Sadly, hand 3 of the day, he ran 10s into jacks, so...
And he was short-stacked.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
he needed to make something happen early doors, but I mean, the one thing I'll give him credit for is, from the last 3 EPT events, he's been the last champion standing in Barcelona. He was the last champion standing here. He continues to go deep in these tournaments.
He's one of the most consistent players out there, and I mean, he's got a bunch of titles, EPT title, WPT title. We were actually discussing him. He's one of the most sort of psychological, one that has got some of the best table talk and I guess metagame. It's something I would love, a skill I'd love to have. You don't ever want to enter into a dialogue with him because he'll end up
unraveling you.
Giving him, here, take my cat. I don't know.
Has he got your cat?
He does. He's got it hostage.
Do you want us to have a word?
Yes, please.
Well, the last 2 hands were won by David Boyacin. He got a walk in the big blind, and that was a case of raise and take it.
We've seen a few of them. There seem to be 2 speeds for this game. Either just do nothing for an hour, or everybody get knocked out all at once.
Oh, we have an all-in.
He's
Open shove from Newtonen.
Yeah, not massively surprising to see this happen at some point this level. I don't know why his glasses are on. Just turn around.
I mean, this is the final table bubble as well with 10-handed, is that correct?
Well, remember, 9-handed is not the official final.
Yeah, but everyone's on one table.
It's the last table bubble
is.
rather than the final table bubble.
This is true.
As James said, it's not in capital letters, the final table. It is ultimately the final table, but it's not the final table in James' voiceover.
Well, let's not split hairs.
Well,
He gets it through.
yeah, he's not going to have to survive. Glasses off, you're all right. No one's going to read you.
Yeah, being a short stack, short-handed is not fun if you're unless you're getting the cards, of course. But
Now, he has tried every which way to get back into this, and he just keeps running into the genuine article.
Still playing 17 bigs. The key stat is when we monitor how many final tables players have made, 9th place doesn't count.
That's harsh.
that is harsh.
But them's the rules. I don't make the rules, I just follow them and announce them.
If I came 9th, that's never going to happen. I'd still tell everyone I made the final table. I'll say, look, here's a picture on my phone of it.
Yeah.
See?
Here's me on the last table.
The last table. Yeah, Lassie beaten into it, yeah. Said, I was going to do that. What do you mean? You got tons of chips, you don't have to do that to me.
Well, I mean, I'd be interested to see if there are any hands Jalassi's not going to shove with. I expect, he's going to fold as absolute garbage, but he's probably shoving with about 80%.
About 80 to 90, perhaps
yeah.
93 or 4% of his hands, yeah.
I just want to make something clear to Stefan, who has been tweeting in quite frequently, that you may have missed the sarcasm in our voices when we had the whole conversation about Phil Hellmuth being the greatest player in the world.
Yeah, we might have been a bit tongue-in-cheek about that.
Yes. But Stefan says, Liv, who do you think is the best poker player right now?
It's impossible to pick one person. I'm sorry to give a boring answer. I think there's absolutely incredible both tournament players and cash game players. I mean, I can only speculate on what I've heard about the best cash game players. But I mean, tourney players. I just can't name one person. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm very impressed with the German guys. I think they're incredible. I don't know. I cannot pick one person. It would be unfair. And
just do what you do. Just say Phil Hellmuth.
I mean, he's the most decorated. You can't argue with that.
One of the
tallest. He's doing something right, and yes, he's one of the tallest and one of the loudest. But he's definitely doing something right. So many people, you ask some of the best players, what is it about Phil Hellmuth's game? And people can't give a decisive answer. Obviously, Phil's got incredible live reading abilities. You could almost say they're inhuman, and I think that overrides perhaps some of the more unconventional playing styles he adopts.
And I'm glad you used that word unconventional, because he obviously does go against the grain. But the fact that he does that, he somehow makes that work for him, and by sort of confusing people.
Yeah, I mean, the thing people often say about Phil is that he's absolutely incredible against sort of weak to average fields, but then wouldn't stand, fare so well perhaps in like a tough high roller or something like that. But then again, he went and won World Series Europe, which was a really tough tournament. It was all, the final 4 tables were all basically all pros.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned high roller fields, because you may have heard, Liv, that Mr. Helmuth will be joining us at the Atlantis Resort.
Oh, I
Casino in
know.
the Bahamas.
He emailed me asking which is the best part of the Atlantis to stay in. I told him the Cove.
Phil Helmuth will be there from January the 5th on Paradise Island. He's going to be playing the 100k Super High Roller, one of 40 events that make up the 10th ever PCA.
I can't wait. It was my best ever poker trip, the PCA last year. So much fun. The weather was amazing.
Even if we were lured into a bar thinking there was karaoke, only to find out that there wasn't.
When was this?
This was one night.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
One night. That's as much description as James can conjure up from his addled brain.
Well, they all blur into one.
Kind of did on that trip.
Boyasian takes another one down there. No, I'm getting too creative right now.
Stephen's just tweeted, so I had to go shopping. Are we still doing Norway fun facts? The game is called Norwegian Facts, and if you want to play, you can. Remember, your fact can be genuine or it can be made up.
Can I hear a fact?
Well, I'm going to have to scroll a long way back up the Twitter.
You're going to have to wait for Stephen to submit his fact, Liv.
Oh.
There was lots to do. There were things to do with penguins being
Polar bears.
trained. Polar bear, lots of polar bear things.
Why Norway?
We had-
Because, well, at the time that we were running the game, we had 2 Norwegian players. Sadly, they're no longer with us.
And a lot of Norwegian followers, so it was kind of all kicking off.
Would like to make clear when I said they're no longer with us, they've just been busted from the tournament. They're
Yes.
They are still very much alive,
Yes.
as far as I'm aware. Obviously, if something has actually happened to them, that would be awful.
Oh, God, no, because you just announced everything's all right. Anyway, look, let's just move away from that.
So it looks like Plowski is just limped in the small blind.
No, he raised it
Oh,
up,
he did
actually. He
raise.
made it to 100,000, and Jalassi went, but I've got permission and position. It's hard to believe Jalassi ever doing anything other than betting here. And for Ching, and there you are. Check that fold. Plowski went for the, well, I think I may as well take this pot down if nobody wants it, and then ran into Jalassi.
So would you say that Jalassi has sort of the, he is the table captain right now, he's dictating the action?
Not necessarily, because he hasn't been that imposing, but he is the most immovable object. Is that so far he has been the one, well, that was why we dragged those stats up, but it's like, if there's an opportunity, if a door is even slightly open, he will go for it every time. Some of the other guys sometimes just let it go, and I'll just leave it this time. Whereas any time there's an opportunity to be the first into the pot, if there's somebody trying to steal, he'll be the one that defends and keeps continuing at it. So it's not like he's really bullied the table at all, but he has certainly been one of the more, if I was sitting there, I would be avoiding him. I just wouldn't bother making a play. And, you know, sometimes that can be kind of passive.
I mean, he's the most experienced player, and he knows it, and the rest of them know it, and it's a great dynamic to have because they're essentially fearful of you.
Yeah.
And this is a great opportunity to just be hoovering up all these small pots.
Yeah.
Because people are playing pretty tight.
Yeah. And that really, I mean, that's just the perfect description. That's exactly what he has just done. But, like, well, this level's not been going on, but the previous level just picked his spots. As soon as it looked like anybody wasn't interested, he'd just come in and move in, take it down.
Not much dramatic movement this level. A question on Twitter from Sammy the Freezing Finn. Who is the person with the most cashing at the EPT, including title winnings? Liv, love your voice. Just love it. I'm wondering, is Sammy asking who's won the most money on the EPT?
It's
or is he asking who's had the most cashes? Because
Lucas had the most cashes,
yes,
right?
with
18.
20.
Is it 20 now?
Yeah,
Wow.
20 cashes. In terms of who's won the most money, though, and I did have to actually research this, it's still Glenn Chorney, and obviously most of that money came from one result, which was when he won the grand final in Season 4. So Glenn Chorney has cashed for $3.2 million in EPTs. Second is Peace de Corva, and again, most of that money came from his grand title win. Liv wants to know if she's on there. 1, 2, no, sorry, Liv, no.
No, not in there.
Not in the top 18.
I thought I was.
Sorry.
Denied.
Denied. You're going to have to take that off your
Gotta
business
win.
cards.
Yeah. I've got to win more.
Oh, hello. Pulaski raised. Jonas Newtonen went all in over the top. And now, actually, it's Boyasian that's called.
That does not look good for Newtonen. Ace King he's run into with King Queen. So Newtonen is dominated and is at risk. By the way, should he be eliminated here and we're down to 9, we will take a break while they redraw for the final 9. But there is still a chance the Finn could get a double up. There are queens in the deck.
And he's on his feet. Not feeling good about this, I'm guessing.
There's a lot of stand-up equity.
There is. He has immediately improved by a good 15%.
And then if you put your jacket on, that's another 5 to 10%.
I don't think he's got his jacket with him, which is a schoolboy error. At least have a scarf to kind of throw around your neck now. Come on, the Queen of Spades. Come on, the Queen of Spades.
No.
Ah. Well, you got to feel for the boy. He did nothing wrong, and he certainly did everything that could have possibly given him a chance to actually get back in this game. Just couldn't get the ball rolling.
So Jorma Newtonen eliminated in 10th place. We're down to just one table, but it is not the official final table. We will play 9-handed, and then the final table bubble will burst and we'll be done for the day. So they will now redraw for seats. 9 players will be on the stage under the cameras, and then when they come back from the break, the action will continue. By the way, just very quickly on that cashing list, the highest casher who's never won an EPT is Dennis Carlo from Hungary. And the reason why he's on this, he's got 2 seconds, and one of those seconds was in the grand final against Glenn Chorney. The other second was in Baden against Julian Thu.
Wow.
He's like facts ahoy. He really, honestly, if you're not sure about anything else, doesn't even have to be poker related. He will look it up and get you an answer.
Trust me, I can bore the pants off people about most subjects.
No argument there from either of us. You have to notice, really, in the silence that followed that
Politely
statement.
silent.
Politely just letting him...
Just kind of gently nodding. So just remember, it's not done yet. We've still got play today as we play down from 9 to 8. We'll redraw for seats and the action will continue here at the PokerStars.net EPT.